And of course, you are on the Breakfast Club. And today, Tulisema, we want to keep updated on what's happening around us, especially on something big that is happening in Mombasa from the 27th all the way to 31st. And in studio right now, we do have Rukia Janwal. She is the head of partnerships at Soil Potar Foundation. And we also have James Ndungu. He is the program manager at Soil Potar Foundation. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Hi, James. That's James. Rukia, how are you?
Good morning, Miriam. How are you?
I'm all right.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. I'm receiving gifts.
Let's make it two-way.
We are receiving gifts. Yes, you're celebrating your birthday on the...
Mine was on Sunday, 19th.
On the 19th. Yes. Happy birthday. Happy
Thank
belated
you.
birthday.
Furaha ya kuzaliwa tarehe 19.
Na tarehe 20.
Na tarehe
Mashujaa.
20.
Huyo nilimalizana naye.
Miriam ni shujaa.
Kabisa.
Okay.
Sisi ndio tuko.
Sijakataa mimi.
Chukua kura. Okay, anyway.
Wow.
Leo umeamua utanichokoza.
That aside, let's talk about, we are on the 6th edition of Pwani Innovation Week. It is not easy to start something and build it year on, all the way to the 6th edition, right? Talk to us about the beginning.
So Pwani Innovation Week, just like the same history of why the hub was founded, is because a lot of things a few years back were happening just in Nairobi, right? So Nairobi is the capital city of the country.
Yeah.
But the only problem is that a lot of opportunities are centered around there, from conferences to investment opportunities to investment setup and everything around that. A lot of innovation, incubation has been happening in Nairobi for the longest time, which is a very good thing because it brings it at the center of development and spotlight, not just for the country, but actually for Africa as a region. Unfortunately, what that does is it also leaves the other regions in the country underdeveloped and untapped. And every region has its uniqueness around. And the problem we had is the innovation and labor migration to the capital city.
Yeah.
So because if I, as a young person, I have an innovation and I know nothing is going to progress when I stay back in Mombasa or Tanariva or Lamu. So the idea is a lot of them would actually move to Nairobi because that's where investment, market, connection with other people is likely to be there, including being able to be incubated.
Yeah.
And that's how the hub had started. And that's the same reason why the Pwani Innovation Week started, because there was Nairobi Innovation Week and there was Kenya Innovation Week that were all happening in Nairobi. Now, let's break it down to the costing that it takes for even the young person who is an innovator or who is very willing to be able to participate in that. A minimum that you'd pay to even attend that session costs how much? Let's say a minimum of 25,000 to attend the conference. And then you have logistics to support you from, traveling, even if you take a bus or you take the SGR. There was no SGR back then. So if you decide to take a bus, if you decide to pay for accommodation, or you could stay, it's tedious, right? And then also how many people are actually able to attend that. So the local participation was low, the costing was very high. So what that does, it actually leaves a lot of people not being able to showcase the unique innovations. And that's how it translated to the Innovation Week being hosted here, and the first one started in 2018, to be able to showcase the innovation and investment potential for the region. And the region in this case is the coastal region of Kenya. So it started with the vision of just having the coastal region of Kenya, from young innovators, local participants, to county, national government, private sector, all being able to convene in one place, talk to each other, network, connect, mentor each other, share learnings, have a platform to showcase, get potential funding, investment, but most importantly, just being able to convene people in the same room. And then later it evolved to not just being the Kenyan cost, to integrating Tanzanian cost. For the last 3 years, we've had an active participation to the Tanga community, right? Every year, last year we had about a delegation of 50 people, from partners to the young people, including the mayor of the city of Tanga, that was here for actually the whole week to be able to experience the Pwani Innovation Week. This year, we might not have very high active participation, especially from the partners, because it's still the election week for Tanzania. but we'd still have a few of the young people participating in that. And the vision for it is to look at the Swahili coast of East Africa that is historic, which stretches from Somalia all the way to Mozambique. So even as we look at our vision, when we talk about the Swahili coast, we look at it as this used to be the economic hub. And Mombasa used to be the global economic hub, the gateway for East Africa. And when we look at the context right now of people saying, you look at the living conditions, the status of the young people, the economic development, it's not developing as we'd anticipate it to be, considering it was the oldest city and it was an economic hub. So when we say let's go back to history, is looking at what also were the things that were happening quite well back then, that we could bring it back here. We could open up the market, we could open up the seas, the ties, so that we can allow, when a young person thinks of an innovation, they don't think of it as just for the people of Mombasa, but they should be able to see the potential of how that innovation should be able to scale even across the whole Swahili Coast region of East Africa.
So you've had a Pwani Innovation Week since 2007, right? 2018. Now, since 2018, what growth have you seen from the first Pwani Innovation Week to the second and the third and the fourth, and now fifth, and now we're doing the sixth edition?
So for the first two Pwani Innovation Week as a participant, actually the first Innovation Week I ever experienced was Pwani Innovation Week. I was in uni and I got a ticket from a friend. It was smaller, it was less people. I had no idea what I was even coming to do. It just seemed nice and fancy, and you're in uni, you have no idea what's going on. So to me, that was the first experience to even understand what Innovation Week actually means, to seeing people showcase, to learn that what exactly it means to be an innovator, what it means to network, to talk to people. So to me, that was the first experience I interacted with Pwani Innovation Week from the outside. The second one, the same thing. So the second one was slightly bigger as well. This is my fourth. So from the third one, so there was a COVID gap, and then I came back in 2022 to now volunteer as part of the teams that were hosting the Innovation Week. And that's where I got to learn the work behind hosting Pwani Innovation Week.
Forget the work. The first one that you attended as a student, how did it benefit you?
I think to me it's mostly being aware. It wasn't that after that I became an innovator, but I started seeing things differently. I started understanding what it means being an innovator, what makes the ecosystem move. I started seeing myself as a person. If I'm to grow, what does this mean for me? So I was able to question a lot of like the traditional ways of how I'm used to doing things, that I'm just supposed to go to school. Possibly after school I'd get an opportunity, get to work. I used to do a lot of volunteering, but with that I'm able to see that you have to do things different. You could do things different. So to me it was a challenging point to start thinking different. And I met people. I met people that I talked to then, I still talk to now. I met someone at some point when I was doing a consulting business that kind of became a mentor during that period. And I do remember the first time I interacted with that person was during Pwani Innovation Week. I didn't think about it much up until later. So I do realize a lot of some of the people, but to me, the most important thing was the exposure of just understanding that things could be different. And I think that's the most important thing to the young people. Even before we say, hey, come up with something new, what does coming up with something new mean? So sometimes being able to be in that space, it allows you to see things differently, to see that your fellow young person is actually coming up with an innovation, to see how you fit in an ecosystem beyond going to school and coming back and doing a 9-to-5 job. So that whole holistic understanding of what it means to grow an ecosystem is what I was able to understand. And I can't say I understood it with just one Pwani Innovation Week, but it's something that I was able to experience all through, from attending to being part of building and growing it to where we are right now.
Okay.
Rukia, sehemu kubwa ya vijana wanakusikiliza, na sehemu kubwa yao wana uchu wa haraka wa kufaulu. Yani hiki kizazi ambacho kwamba tuko nacho, makuu wameyaweka mbele kuliko kutafuta namna ya kuweza kufika vile ambavyo umeeleza. Umeenda ya kwanza ukapata nini, umevumilia mpaka vile ambavyo kwamba umekuwa ukireflect, unaona hiyo ecosystem imekufaulisha kwa sehemu fulani. Wala ambao kwamba wanakusikiliza hivi sasa, ikiwa ni mara yao ya kwanza ya wanakuja kwenye makala ya 6, ni kitu gani ambacho kwamba akija pale akikitizama, akikifuatilia, atatoka nacho akajenge msingi wa kuwa rukia ama zaidi ya rukia ambaye amemsikia?
Asante sana, swali zuri sana. Wajua ulikuwa nimepanga maneno kwa kujibu Kiswahili, naona yamepotea.
Leave it alone.
I think this is why Pwani Innovation Week is existing. It is for majorly why this Innovation Week is different from a lot of conferences and innovation weeks that are happening across the region, is because it targets that set of young people that have no idea even what to do. And what this gives them, it gives them a platform to learn. I think the most important thing is learning and unlearning. And sometimes I feel like we don't give a lot of value to the concept of learning and unlearning, because just being able to see that your fellow young people are starting some things. And I would like to give an example of, I think this is one of the favorite innovations that I like in the ecosystem. They're called plastic energy, I think limited or solutions. So they're one of the young people we incubated when we ran the Mombasa Plastics Prize program 2 years back. And they are recycling plastics from getting into the ocean to produce cooking gas. So it's been 2 years. We had about 14 innovations that came out of that. 9 we incubated. Out of the 9, this one among them. And they did get funding. They consistently get that. But they've not hit the market to date. But they're still a group. And they're constantly meeting people. They're constantly trying to navigate through regulations. They're constantly trying to navigate through the market. It's energy. So there's a lot of processes until it gets to that. So to me, this is one of the innovations and a story that it showcases that it's 2 years in. This is actually their 3rd year, and they've not given up. And they're not the only people. And we get to see this through a lot of innovations that really understand what their innovation could solve, or the magnitude of potential it has, but also what they need to do before they get there. And they're like 24-year-old young people. They're not 30, they're not 50, they're not 40. They came in when they were like 2022, because the oldest person needed to be 24, and most of them were around 20 to 22. So right now is when the oldest person is around 24, 25. So we don't even have someone who's above 25. And for the last 2 years, they've been building this. And there's a lot of them that come up with innovations. Some fail, but some still stay resilient. What the Innovation Week constantly does, it gives you a platform that today you could be struggling with regulations. You could be struggling with regulations for 2 years, but it's not the same, because every day you unlock a new layer that you struggled with, and you understand, oh, this is another problem that I need to solve before I get to something. And to us, this is what Innovation Week is supposed to do. It's supposed to allow them to understand how to go about, who to talk to. And the people that are in the room are people that normally you wouldn't easily get an appointment to get to them. But today you have a speaker, let's say, from Kenjan. And you've tried to get an appointment in Kenjan. But with a speaker in Kenjan, with a participant from Kenjan, you're all in the same room. You have the same rights. You eat the same food. You move around. You go to the same stalls. So you have a chance to interact with them. You have a chance to build a relationship, to build networks. And if there's one thing that I've gotten to learn, and I think this is the difference between our Innovation Week, I'd say, as I don't want to quantify all Africans so that they don't come to me. But I see there was one conference we hosted a few months back. It was the Deep In Summit. It was a blockchain summit. And what I understood from that summit, to them it was very successful. We had guys who had innovations in blockchain that all pitched. It was just pitching morning to evening. But there were innovators in the room. But no one was writing a check. Then we had 1 day here and 2 days in Zanzibar. I went to Zanzibar too. Same case. No one was writing a check. And we had them in the room. So on the last night during the concert, I asked them, hey, who do you think is an innovation you are likely supposed to write a check to say, it's very early to know that right now. I was like, oh, so what have we been doing for the last 3 days? He said, to get to know the entrepreneurs as individuals, to get to understand what motivates them to this. Maybe later, but right now it's mostly like to understand the space, to understand the innovation. And they understood that they quantified that as a very, very successful innovation or a summit, not because checks were written, but because meaningful relationships were built.
So it's not just a matter of, for somebody who's coming in, especially an entrepreneur who feels like, I'm coming in to pitch, right? Or to exhibit. It's not a matter of somebody saying, okay, I'm putting my money on this. But it's just getting to understand that's also beneficial to somebody, right? James, you have worked with, you have been at Swahili Potter Foundation for a period of time. And you have, I would like to believe you have been at the organization enough to see PIW from beginning, right?
Yeah, I've been here for, I think, 4 years now.
Okay.
I think this is my fourth Pwani Innovation Week. Wow, I'm getting old. This is my fourth Pwani Innovation Week.
I want you to compare.
Yeah.
This is your fourth Pwani Innovation Week. Look at the previous years.
Yeah.
What it was, the growth that you have witnessed, and the change that you have even seen in the youths who show up. Yes.
True. I must say it's been a journey.
Yeah.
I think my first Pwani Innovation Week, just like look here, I was there to learn. I didn't do most of the work, I think, that year.
Yes.
So I was more of a participant that year. And it was quite exciting, being on this side of the table. But I think from 2023, 2024, and now this year, I've actually been on the other side, trying to curate with partners to co-create how the sessions look like, and definitely being able to ensure that the program speaks to the needs of the young people, but as well as the larger ecosystem. So in terms of growth, I think from 2023 we were guided by a very interesting theme. We were sailing beyond borders, and I think that's the day we moved to Tanga in Tanzania. And for young people then, it was, can we move from our comfort zone? That was the direct message. We've been there for too long, but it was time for us to be able to move beyond where we are at and start moving our innovations to the next stage. And what we experienced then was, we had startups that we had started working with as Swahili Pot, and at the larger ecosystem level, some young entrepreneurs who are just maybe at the ideation stage, who had gone through our pitching Thursdays, who had gone through, other programs within the ecosystem. And what Pwani Innovation Week did for them that year is that they were offered a platform at the Deals Den. And I think that's the first time that we experienced the Deals Den. And they had an opportunity not just to pitch to an audience like they had done before, but to pitch in front of potential investors. And just like Lukia was saying, of course, no one wrote a check on that day.
What opportunities does Pwani Innovation Week offer for, first of all, the youth who might want to attend and not pitch or even exhibit? And also, number two, for the exhibitors, somebody who might want to bring their business and exhibit, what opportunities are there?
Great. Maybe even just focusing on these years alone,
yes,
there are quite a lot of opportunities for any young person. And when I talk about any, I'm talking young people from the larger coastal region. We have a lot of sessions that will be running, from panel discussions to breakout sessions, all the way to even workshops. So, and of course, you have the exhibition booths that will be running throughout the week. So as a young person, you get a lot of opportunities, one from just participating in sessions. This year we are themed around reimagining Pwani. So we're talking about youth agency, innovation, and sustainability of coastal economies. We have programmed around 3 key tracks. That is, we have the sustainable track, sustainable economy track. We have the youth agency track, and we also have the digital track. So as a young person from the onset should be able to assess where do you want to learn more, and then guided by the program, you're able to identify specific sessions that are going to be of value to you as a person, depending on your aspirations as a young person, and of course, depending on the critical things that you've planned to learn this year. Then number 2, as a young person, of course, you've mentioned about exhibitions. If you're a young entrepreneur out there and you have your products ready, or they might not be very, very ready, we are there to accommodate you. You know, you have an opportunity to come, bring your product to the exhibition booth, and get to interact with the so many delegates, not just from Mombasa, not just from Kenya. Of course, we also have delegates from Tanzania and other parts of the country, the world, that will be joining us. So that's an opportunity for you to break you sitting, get to excite people about your products, even as you think through the entire product development phases that your product needs to go through for it to go to the international market. And number 3, we have workshops. Now, for workshops, for me, which is a new addition, I think, this year, is specifically going to be targeting very specific young people. For example, you have one workshop that, I know we are in the AI era, and of course, we've seen people utilizing ChatGPT maybe for and other such products, just for the minor things, just prompting and getting,
at the very basics.
Yeah, the very basics. But what we are learning is there's so much more that we can be able to do with AI, So we have a very specific workshop that is going to unblock our eyes, because I think we are blocked right now.
I like that one.
We're only thinking about how do I on ChatGPT.
But I would really like to attend that one. When is it? Because when I say the very basics, why are you looking at me that way?
I am very attentive.
Yeah, because do you know when I say very basic? It's because most of the time when we use ChatGPT, we like
paraphrase.
Hi.
Yeah.
So
rewrite this for me.
Rewrite this. How do I put together this for this? It's like we're scratching on the surface. Yeah. So you're telling me there's a session that's going to teach me how to do it better as a Kenyan.
A practical session. Yeah. That's going to be an entire 1 hour plus workshop. And this is happening on Monday, actually from 2 to 3 p.m. On Monday. And the topic is AI agents for everyone. We're not just talking about now using AI. It's becoming an AI agent.
And who will be walking the team through the workshop? Because this is so important, especially for the not just for the youths.
Yeah.
We're in a space where everybody needs to learn how to utilize AI. We're incorporating it in almost everything. So who will be handling that session? Which team will be moderating this?
Yeah. We have a very good team from one of our partners called Tabia. So Tabia will be leading this session. They have a whole entire delegation that will be joining us. If you remember last year, they actually hosted one of those big hackathons during Pwani Innovation Week. So this year, we're going beyond the hackathon. The hackathon just targeted a few young people, like 50 or so. But this year, we want everyone, the 2,000 plus young people that we hope to have on Monday, seated in one room, and all of us going through practical session on how do you utilize AI. Yeah. It's not going to be theory. It's going to be
practical.
Click here. What do you see? Move here. Have you ever heard of this tool? Download it. What does it require? That granular level of interaction is what we hope to get from some of these workshops, one of them being the AI Agent for Everyone workshop.
Yeah, I like that.
It's actually a workshop to create AI. It's a workshop to create AI chatbots.
Yes.
Don't ask me a lot of questions about what a chatbot is.
I will not. Do not worry.
Maneno yanakuwa mengi. Chatbot.
We shall Google it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it?
Yeah. So no, I'm just...
We're all excited about it.
For that specific session, I know what a chatbot is, but I don't know how to explain what a chatbot is.
Okay,
I see.
But they're going to teach us on how to create AI chatbots for our day-to-day engagements, to have a car robot that's going to help us around.
Let's just say we're going to learn how to utilize AI.
Mambo ni mengi hapa duniani.
I think what Lukia is trying to say is we don't actually know what to expect at this stage. We are like, we've utilized AI, I think, for the last 1 year plus, 2 years for most of us, but we're taking it to the next level. And the thing here is, some young people might be privileged and are privileged enough to know some of these tools, but we have a youth cohort that have not been able to utilize some of these tools, and there's an opportunity for them to be able to do that with young people, that are utilizing AI tools to even job search, But there's another youth population that does not even know that you can be able to job search using AI tools. So, of course, trying to bridge that gap. And, I mean, we can't wait to get that session running on Monday.
Okay.
Jmo?
Yes, sir.
Umetaja idadi ya vijana, umesema tu?
Last year, we had 2,000 plus young people participating
plus.
at Pwani Innovation Week.
All right, sawa. So, hawa vijana watakuja. Kuna wale watakuja waje waone, wasome kwa macho, wasome kwa akili na vitu kama hivyo. Alafu kuna yule ambaye mwenyewe ataamua kwamba mimi hiki kitu ambacho kwamba nimekiona hapa nitataka kukiendeleza. So after now the 1 week 27th mpaka 31st imeshaisha. What's next for that kind of a youth?
Great, good question. What we've done in the past, and maybe I'll talk at different levels. Number one, for innovators, we have, for example, the Deals Den session that is going to take place on Thursday. So as Rukia mentioned earlier on, she's been to the DEPIN conference, and what happened is that for 3 days, people just pitched and no one wrote a check. But what she didn't mention is that those guys were taking notes. They were like, that's an exciting idea. I would want to explore that. So after Pwani Innovation Week, you get most of these innovators, making follow-ups. Personal follow-ups with, I was interested with business idea X, I was interested with product Y, and they're able to provide different levels of support. There are those that are going to go through mentorship, but we've also had instances where I think 5 of them, I think that was 2023. Yes, like we had 5 of them, getting, direct funding. 3 of them getting direct funding. Of course, this will come way later after Pwani Innovation Week. Then number 2, after you've learned and all that, Pwani Innovation Week does not stop on 31st. That's actually the beginning of the real work. Because as a young person, number 1, you're there to learn, you're there to network, and you're there to, identify people that can be able to support you. So after Pwani Innovation Week, the learning has to continue. So for us at Swahili Port Hub, we have different other programs that will target the same cohort of young people. Those that, of course, came to Pwani Innovation Week and they felt like, oh yeah, it's time that I pick up on that business idea that I thought of years ago that I've never been able to start. So we have a platform. We have platforms for them to be able to start nurturing that business idea. So they can be able to join us and be part of, join our entrepreneurship pathway. They will join our Pitching Thursday platform and also benefit from other programs that we at Swahili Port Hub are running. And beyond that, also being able to be linked with other partners within the ecosystem.
All right, and as I'm looking at the time, we're about to wrap up. We will not leave you without saying the speakers that we're going to have. Who's coming in? Who should we expect? Yeah, who's coming in this time? Because I know last time we had a lot of. Last time we had the ambassador, the French ambassador, who was there, the Belgium ambassador as well. And if I can remember, and I hosted the Deals Den, which I'm still hosting. So definitely, we will talk about that on Thursday. Yes, Rukia, do share.
We are expecting different partners, from INGOs to local partners to, I think what's interesting this year is beyond the usual ambassadors that normally come here.
Yeah.
But we actually took a turn to have the program being led by the ecosystem partners.
Okay.
Like the AI one is being led by Tabia. We have blockchain and connectivity and intellectual property. So almost all the sessions that we are running are not led by us. So they're led by the industry experts.
Yes.
So when we talk about, let's say, the creative economy, there's a new app that we're going to launch, which is called Truly Kenya, that is supposed to help artists in monetizing that. So that's in partnership with Swahili Port and Truly Kenya. That's going to be launched here. The fast activation is going to happen here. So these are some of the things to be able to expect in terms of partners. We have CS Mvuria that has been able to confirm, of course, the governor of the county government of Mombasa, the principal secretary for innovation, the CEO of Kenya National Innovation Agency, We have new partners like Alex, who is the one that's leading Truly Kenya. We're going to have governor or the deputy governor of Kilifi County, and other coastal county leaders that we're also expecting for that week. Some of the key dignitaries are still confirming as we go about.
Yeah.
But some of the key partners that we have are like the UK Kenya Tech Hub, of course ABSA Kenya, who has been a consistent partner for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
We have universities that are taking an active lead on that. And I think other than that, when you talked about what else to expect for this year, is when you asked what after the Pwani Innovation Week. So allowing the partners to lead, it allows the partners to lead, including the relationships moving forward.
Okay, good.
The deals that you talked about is we have partners that are specifically looking for a pipeline for creative businesses. Others that are looking for blue economy and green economy. So if you look at Dilston for this year, we're actually looking at having 2 separate Dilston instead of 1, because we have partners that have different interests.
Yes.
So instead of 1 room with 12 people pitching, we're possibly going to have 20 people pitching in different rooms, and different investors who are specifically just looking at that industry.
Heavy.
So that's like what's exciting. And to wrap up, when you asked what next, I'd just like to read the Global Ecosystem Index report that shows how we've been able to grow. This report was published early this year, and Kenya has just entered the global top 60 for the first time ever. And with Nairobi, so Kenya is at 58th position, and Nairobi has had a healthy growth of about 22%, while Mombasa has enjoyed the highest growth rate in Kenya for over 104%. So Nairobi is at 22%, but Mombasa is at 104%. That's a very big number.
That's a
from
huge number.
1 year to the next year to be able to have 104% growth.
Yes.
So this actually shows the impact of everyone playing a very small role. And this is part of the highlight of what the Innovation Week is supposed to do. Not owning that 104% is as a result of the Innovation Week, but it's a contributing factor to be able to convene people and to intrigue a lot of people to start thinking different, starting businesses and innovating. And this is where we've been able to grow as a city, as a country, overally.
All right, great. How do we get the tickets for those who are thinking to attend? How do they get the tickets? Where do they get the tickets from?
The tickets are available on our website, Pwani Innovation Week website. Just click there and you're able to get the various options. And it's also good to mention that Pwani Innovation Week does not end without Pwani Got Talent.
Of course.
Yeah, Friday we will be happening, like they like to say, and we have a lineup of artists that I know we have already published them already, so it's not a surprise to everyone. Yeah, we will have Sanaipe Tande, of course, one of my favorites. Of course, I'll be there.
It's a favorite song.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song from Sanaipe Tande?
Na 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 na.
Which one?
Hiyo ameimba.
Anaimba tunes.
Hiyo ameimba.
Previously I've been accused of
Oh, Nita Mamia. Is it? No, that's Nyota Ndogo.
Hata wewe ujui.
I've not picked up the tune that James sang.
Let's just move on.
Have you picked up a tune that James
even
sang?
I didn't pick up what James
No,
said. I
mimi
have no
nime-
idea what he's
nimepata.
looking forward to.
Asante sana, tuendelee. Si ni
Tuendelee.
kweli?
Mimi nimepata.
Of course you have Ibra from
Amina ndio
Tanzania.
hiyo.
Maybe she knows Amina because it's the latest one. There are those early days. Yeah. I didn't say anything. Diana Codes, of course, will be there.
Set it.
Yeah, now you see.
Yeah.
Now you understand why you didn't get the first one.
Ibra ameimba nyimbo gani?
Unataka kutesa watu.
Achana na James.
Let's just say it's going to be fun. Please join us and let's make this a learning week, a networking week, and a week, for you to be able to move yourself to the next level.
And the dates are?
From the 27th to 31st of October. That means we are a very, very few days away from, it starts on Monday.
Yeah.
And I think what James didn't mention is we have other exciting experiences, like one day we're going to have a morning workout. I think it's on a Wednesday. So we're going to have
it's actually the
morning
entire week. The entire week from 6:30, from 6 actually,
we'll
6 a.m.
Yes.
We'll have morning workout sessions happening at Mamangena. So join us then we get ready and start the program at 9.
All right.
And we also have DAO experiences, because we said part of the ways to be able to see the potential of Mombasa is to see it from an experience point. So we have DAO experiences, and we're also going to have Konga La Utamaduni. That's a lot of like cultural experiences being showcased. And also, what's the other one?
All right, Rukia, we're done.
So much packed for you.
There's so much to say, but you know what? Now you have an idea of Pwani Innovation Week, what we keep talking about every single day from 27th all the way to 31st. You need to get your tickets at Pwani Innovation Week. That's a website, www.pwaniinnovationweek.com. Get your ticket. Usiachwe nyuma tafadhali. If you're a young person, you're a youth, you're a student, the prizes are different for students and for other members who would like to participate. Tafadhali. Friday, also, we're going to bring somebody, the team from Soili Potter Foundation, to talk about Pwani's Got Talent, the artist who will be coming, the artist who will be participating. So I got a lot lined up for you. Right now, though, get yourself a ticket. From Salim and I, we're saying adios.
Adios, yes. Hakuna mengi.
Hakuna mengi. It's been a good Tuesday. I was about to say it's been a good Monday.
New Tuesday.
It's been a good Tuesday.
Don't scare me.
Bye.